I picked up this old vintage suitcase, which I'm going to be painting. This is final piece. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So if you watch my previous vlogs, I picked up this old vintage suitcase, which I'm going to be painting. Kind of similar to the style of this painting right here. I'm not planning to do the whole entire thing and paint over like all the latches and things like that. Kind of want to keep like a lot of the wear and tear, keep it sort of pretty original, but just add kind of lots of kind of elements throughout it, as well as do kind of collaging around the sides with a whole bit other kind of illustrations. So I've already got like a plan of what I'm going to do on it. Kind of done a drawing that I want to do for the front, and then the back of it I'm planning on doing like a flower bouquet with a bit of text. All of it kind of in my sort of style, like this painting here and these ones here if you're new here. Today's Saturday and I was planning on spending the whole day doing this and getting like a good solid start on it, but got a bit sidetracked. So I pretty much grew up skating and don't really skate a whole lot anymore these days. Mainly like kind of transitioned into surfing because you just get way less hurt all the time. But it's coming into summer and I've been keen to skate a little bit more. So this morning I pretty much spent like most of the day driving around picking up a new skateboard deck, which is pretty hyped to go for a skate on that this afternoon. And then tomorrow I'm going to try and get like a solid start on the suitcase. Pretty much the reason for doing a suitcase rather than doing a canvas is one of my favorite artists at the moment is Hunt Soul, and he's just been going like crazy doing his art on like all sorts of different items. I think it's just a really cool way to kind of develop your art and just create kind of unique pieces of art. The suitcase that I'm planning on doing, I'm hoping to put that in my kind of exhibition series I've been working on recently. If you're new here, it's a lot of these paintings here. So for that, I just want to try and create a heap of different pieces that, I don't know, just are interesting to have in there with all like the main kind of canvases and things like that. This morning I tried kind of playing around with doing some sprays on a t-shirt. This is kind of what I ended up doing. Nothing crazy, but pretty much at the moment, yeah, just kind of experimenting with a lot of different things and just trying to make some kind of bit more unique art to like the theme of everything, which is love. Now I think my mates are cruising around pretty soon and I need to get this deck kind of set up. Alright, so next day. Not gonna lie, been battling a hangover, but slightly feeling better now. And gonna get into making the start on the suitcase. For this, honestly, don't really have any plan, haven't really painted anything like this before. But yeah, this one very much you guys are kind of learning with me. Hopefully it doesn't turn out super shit and it actually turns out alright. I don't know, I've been trying to like figure out whether I should kind of tape off certain parts, like they have this sort of like metal that runs along the suitcase. I kind of want to keep all of that stuff sort of like pretty original. So yeah, I think to start I'm going to try to tape off that. Play with mine, don't laugh, the right fall, lay around your pillow with all the rest I can you write me a song for my childies. Oh, play with mine, don't laugh, the right fall, lay around
and the dust are trailing behind my boots. Blown by the wind, showed me a piece of my past.
I finished work a bit early today, which was super nice. Kind of just went for a run around where I live. And yeah, gonna keep cracking on with this thing. So the plan now is to kind of put in the actual main colors, like my main base color, which I'm gonna do blue on this side and then gonna do like a cream on the other side. Very unsure on how this is gonna turn out. or like whether the kind of designs that I've drawn up to put on here are gonna look good, or they're just gonna, I don't know, look kind of trash. Normally I prefer to do like bigger scale. I know I'm just like not super great at doing like real fine little detailed stuff. I enjoy doing the bigger scale because you can do so much more different like kind of mediums within it, and it just like doesn't look overcrowded, where I kind of want to still do that bit on this. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see how this turns out. I have been thinking as well along the sides here where I've been doing this. This is really small strip that kind of runs along here, and I really want to do kind of like, or just bring in my like collaging that I normally do on my paintings into this. But try not to get ahead of myself at the moment and just kind of tackle this main one first, and then can start doing like the back and the sides.
The soil and the dust is where we go. 6 feet under, whatever your uniform says. The smell of the dust is sticking onto my clothes. Burns my throat, sent shivers down my spine. The smell of the dust makes us just the same.
I'm pretty much starting to fall asleep now. Made a bit of progress. I was kind of hoping to do a little bit more progress than what I've done, but pretty much just like sketching on all the figures took a little while. I've just been kind of adding in heaps of different kind of crayon textures, and to also just kind of like bring in some of the background colors that were originally there, but also add in like a little bit of like grey to color block it in that section. I kind of find that that's like a good way to bring the colors through from the background, but then also add in like a blocking color. This kind of overall makes the whole thing to me just look a little bit more interesting. But I'm away for the next 2 nights working at an Airbnb doing some landscaping, so I'll drop in a couple of little clips here and there of that sort of trip. But when I get back from that, I'll kind of hopefully finish off this side and then can get it doing the other side. And the other side should be a bit more interesting. I'm going to try to do more of like an abstract flower bouquet, but with like a comic kind of vibe, flowers mixed in with it, if that makes sense. Which will be interesting to see how the two kind of slight styles that I'm going to do actually blend, because I know my last couple of paintings that I've done, when I've tried doing like the comic style but adding in like a different style, it just hasn't really worked out. I've been eager to try and make it work because I like it when you can like contrast styles within your work. But yeah, haven't been able to fucking figure it out yet, so see how we go. Currently crashing at this place here, and with my mate that owns like the landscaping business that I work for, doing like a full big new garden rip out and planting all around this place. But I'll show you guys the kind of view where we are. We're about like an hour inland from where I live, and it's just like so nice out here.
Bring me to the valley of peace. Spare my heart and I'll reach to the end of the road. Release me from the chains of my mind. Pain I cannot define. This is me all the way down, 'cause all I ever want is you. Even sometimes I
Alright, so back from that little work trip. I'm not gonna lie, pretty wrecked. It was definitely like some pretty massive days. But last night I got back pretty late, so I just kind of continued on with just doing a bit more of the color blocking. Really put in just like a couple reds, and then can start kind of outlining the graphic on this side, and then can kind of move on to the rest of it.
It fills me up each time. Only you give me heaven. Only you got my attention.
So that's pretty much all the color blocking done for now, and now I'm just going to start doing all the outlining around everything. And to do that, I've got like a real fine line Posca, and then just going to mix it with some oil paint. So yeah, no real plan with the two different kind of mediums. It's mainly just to try and kind of switch it up in different areas to try and make certain parts of it look more interesting.
Take the darkness when you leave. Let my wounds heal. Now I'm sober. Eyes are open wide. Leaving with no.
Alright, so it's 3 days later. Pretty much over the weekend I didn't do any painting. Kind of just had a cruisy weekend, which was kind of nice for once. But I was also super fortunate over the weekend. One of you guys, Liam, he actually brought one of my pieces of my art, which is super dope. Also watched some of my art inspiration videos and went and brought some prints off another artist that I mentioned throughout those videos. Like that's kind of like the whole point with those. Like a lot of those videos are to help other artists find inspiration for their own art, but also to help share other artists, like I don't know, throughout the community. I think that's really dope. So yeah, shout out to you, Liam. But pretty much whilst I've been doing all these paintings for this kind of art exhibition that I'm trying to put together at the moment, I've been trying to think of different ways that I can kind of package my paintings. Like so when somebody buys a piece of art, it's kind of like, I don't know, just all that side of art, not so much the actual just making the art itself. There's a lot of artists that I personally follow, and the way I kind of see them do all that side of their art is just like, it's just really inspiring, just kind of seeing the quality that they put into that aspect of their art. And I also think it makes like a massive difference between just like, I don't know, having a painting, packaging up and sending it to somebody, whereas somebody I brought a piece of art from, which is Matt, who is a subscriber of this channel and just like kind of a friend now. When I purchased his art, which I'll show you, which I love it, I think it's super dope. But when I purchased his art, it came like super nice little package, heaps of cool little stickers, like, which I've got a couple of the stickers stuck around up over here, which is dope. It kind of just makes the whole buying of art experience, I don't know, just feel better and just be more exciting. Takes like quite a bit of time to sort of build out all those different kind of like little bits and pieces you can include when you like sell pieces of your art. So I've been trying to figure out ways that I can do that, and also like it's just like a good way to show your appreciation, because like one, that person's kind of supporting your dream, or they're supporting kind of your just everyday living. So pretty much like whilst I fucking push lawnmowers around all day, I generally think a lot about all this kind of stuff. I haven't really done like certificates of authentication with my art. Which is something that like I think is super important, you know, just having like a proof that like that art is from somebody, especially like if you want your art to, I don't know, gain value one day or be like valuable to collectors, I guess. Now there's like a lot of different ways that I've seen people do these. There's like obviously just like your kind of standard printout, which is just like a letter that proves that that art is from that person. Then people just do like, I guess, more like formal kind of card like letters. But yeah, been trying to kind of figure out like a unique way to do all of that. So that's what I spent most of this weekend doing. So the plan I've kind of come up with, I'll make a video where I actually like show these kind of final products. I'm still waiting for them to one, get manufactured and then get sent here. So once they get here, I'll show you guys in the videos. What I've kind of decided to go with for my art is like collector cards. Obviously like growing up with like Pokemon cards and just being big into like antique kind of stuff like the suitcase and all like the magazine tear outs and shit that I do. I know I'm just like a big fan of those kind of like little collector cards. Not that I own any myself or actually am like a collector like that, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of make my certificate of authentications based around kind of just like a old Pokemon card. So I've only designed up 3 at the moment, and I've just gone for like 3 copies to get made first to see how they turn out, and then whether these kind of end up turning out good, then I'll go back through all the people that have purchased my art and I'll create these for everybody that already has an original. So yeah, if you're an owner of my art and like my originals, you're probably going to be getting sent one of these. Just trying to get them all made and processed and figuring out like how long all this is actually going to take. But I've got them kind of on my phone, the ones that I've done. I'll pop them up, the 3 that I've made already. Pretty hyped with them. Like I kind of built the mock-up off like an old Pokemon card. So I won't go crazy deep into all of this now. I'll talk more about it when I've actually got like the first few cards made. But the kind of, I guess the idea is to actually just bring around more of the mindset of collecting around my art. And I think it's just like a cool, fun way for me to show my appreciation to the people that buy my art. And even for me, it personally just makes like making art and kind of making the whole art kind of world that I'm trying to make just a bit more fun and enjoyable doing little things like this. It definitely just keeps me like more stoked on just wanting to do more stuff. Just like, I don't know, it's kind of rewarding when you end up like making something that goes with what you're already doing, I guess. But yeah, so hopefully in the future, the idea is I'm going to have like my kind of base cards, which are going to be my originals, like the ones I just showed you. So all my kind of just original paintings that I sell through my website, which I need to do a heap more on update because I've been pretty slack with that, working on all these pieces. All those paintings that kind of sell on there and aren't in a specific collection, they're just going out as like one of my originals. And then for like kind of the Lover series that I'm doing at the moment, the plans to kind of switch up the cards a little bit, keep them the same format, but use like different colorways, different kind of effects on the cards. And yeah, kind of like tailor each collection of paintings with a collection of cards with originals. I'm still contemplating on the idea whether or not I do cards for all my prints. I normally like to do hand embellished prints, which means say if I did a print drop of like 50 prints, then I'd have to do 50 unique print cards, I guess, for each person that buys them. Obviously if I didn't do hand embellished ones, it would be a lot more chill. Just because you have like minimums that you can make with these kind of cards. Like for each set of cards, I can only do a minimum order of 10 cards. So obviously I'm only going to keep one card for myself, which is kind of like the artist kind of card, just because I kind of want to keep them for myself as well. And then the one card that goes to like the buyer of my art, which will be kind of the collector card. And then the rest of the cards I'll probably keep and store, but they won't ever get like put out to people. If anything, I'll probably just throw them away, but I'll see. So yeah, realistically, of each piece of art I make, there will only ever be 2 cards: the artist card, which would be one that I have, and the collector card. So yeah, when it comes to doing like obviously prints and things like that, it gets a little bit harder, just because like I've got to pay to do 50 amounts of 10 collector cards, if that makes sense. I'm sure that if I create better relationships with these guys that are making the cards for me, there might be like a way to kind of work around that process. Like I'm still very much figuring this out as I go, and mainly just kind of sharing this with you guys because it's kind of like what I do on my channel. I kind of like to show my journey of creating my art, sharing my art, things that I learn, because I don't know, hopefully it can help you learn stuff as well. But yeah, overall, like pretty hyped on that idea. I think it's pretty fun, and I should be able to do a lot of cool stuff with it in the future. Like realistically, I could do a card for like objects and things like that. I could do, if I ever do like collaborations with brands or other artists and things like that in the future, it'd be cool to make kind of unique cards to go with those artworks and things like that as well. So yeah, keen to hear what you guys think about that. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you think I should do the print one. I'm sure I probably will end up doing it, but yeah, honestly, just keen to hear any ideas that you guys have on those kind of things. But now back with this painting, because that's kind of the point of this video. Just wanted to have a little rant about that sort of stuff. In my next video, I feel like I just fucking talked for ages just then. So in my next video, I'll update you guys kind of like time frames that I'm thinking of actually doing the exhibitions for all the pieces that I've been working on over the last like year, pretty much. I realize that like in most videos I'm sort of like, alright, today I'm going to make this piece for my art exhibition I'm working on, but like haven't actually really told you when I'm thinking about doing it. So I've actually kind of been working with a mate and have a few plans for a lot of other things. I'll save that for another video, but yeah, I'll update you guys what the go is with all of that. For tonight, because I'm back in kind of the working during the days and painting during the nights, gonna try to get through some more of this. This is pretty much where I got to the other night when I was painting, and for me this side at the moment it's all done. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked with how like kind of all the shading and things like that all turned out. A lot of the times when I try to do that kind of shading sort of buzz with the oil sticks, it's like very easy to go too far with it, and then you can like, I don't know, just completely ruin a piece. So I think it's kind of like just the right amount at the moment. So pretty much it's pretty late already tonight, so I don't have a lot of time, but the goal is to kind of just start working on some of the sections around here. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to completely do like a collage effect over this whole entire thing or just do different sections of it. So I'm going to start by just doing like different parts, whether I just go full across the whole thing with the collaging or whether I just do little bits. So yeah, see how we go.
Time keeps moving slowly and I beg you not to take so long. Currents in the cables through the distance fell asleep right on the lawn. I knew right when I met you, you were special, you put me at ease.
I didn't end up going with kind of the original plan of doing just like the small section around here. I kind of freestyled it and went all over it and just sort of spaced it out more. So I kind of got like just a couple little designs all around the place. I figured like kind of having it all blended in as kind of one might look a bit more, I don't know, a bit more interesting, I guess.
Give the office workers in the window washer something to see. I knew I would.
Alright, so I finished work pretty early today, which is pretty nice. So I just went down to the beach and did some drawing, because pretty much like the final piece that I have to do on the last side of the suitcase. I hadn't drawn it up yet. I had a pretty good idea of like what I was gonna do for it, but I just wasn't really sure how to like scale it on there. But when I was down at the beach, my phone died, so I couldn't actually show you guys like the final drawing that I ended up doing, or really any of the drawing. But this is what I ended up doing. Plans to kind of do something like this, having kind of a bit of like a comic-y, cartoony sort of style, and then mixing in more like colored crayons and things like that. So yeah, gonna pretty much get that onto here tonight. Gonna try to smash this out and hopefully get this suitcase finished tonight. Also though, real quickly, I'll show more of this in my next video, but I'm shipping off painting this week and have got another one that I need to kind of prepare and get shipped off as well. So I have picked up some new kind of stretcher bars. So previously I've kind of always used like wooden canvas stretcher bars, and there's an artist that I really like and he uses these aluminium ones. So they're like from a place in Sydney, and yeah, they pretty much like custom make them to like the exact sizes that you need, and they're like super solid. It has a little like kind of rubber lining along the back here, so you can kind of staple the canvas into it once you've stretched it over. This is the first time I've used these, so I'm like so hyped on these because the quality of these is like actually insane. So much like, it just feels so much more like professional than just like a wooden stretcher bar, at least to me. A big reason why I use them is one, so that like people's paintings will kind of just last forever. Like these won't really ever warp or anything like that. Like here in Australia it gets so hot in the summers. So I don't know, I just always get like a bit like cautious about wooden kind of stretcher bars and things like that here, like just warping a bit in the heat. Obviously if you have it like properly framed in a nice frame, you're probably not going to find it's a problem. Yeah, so these are kind of like the new journey I'm going on with my paintings at the moment. But yeah, I'll show you guys it like stretched and everything in my next vlog. Alright, so this is final piece. Finally done. There's kind of like a few little things that I need to kind of just touch up here and there, but for now I'm going to leave it there. The final outcome. Got all the sides. Added in a couple little love hearts kind of on the latches. And then yeah, I'll probably just do like my signature and things along the bottom. Yeah, definitely something different. Yeah, I've never really kind of tried anything like this, which has been like super fun. And want to do like a couple different kind of items like this to have in my exhibition. I was thinking like a old kind of retro phone could be cool. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. And I appreciate you guys watching.
Go take the long way, the long